one of the very notable reinventions was around Altrincham, which is of which your ward was part, and was part of is a important town within Trafford. Now, for those that don't know, Altrincham had a market given by Royal Charter for 750 years. But perhaps you can talk us through the thoughts around why Altrincham needed reinvention and how that was gone about.
Sure. Well, I mean, I think the first thing to say on Altrincham is there was a huge effort from a great number of people prior to my time in Trafford and beyond to see it sort of revived. I mean, it needed it because if you think about the discussion that we've just had, Tony, around this was a place that was viewed in terminal decline. I think was described as a ghost town, and that almost the stasis that had set in was this will never change, and yet the great success story I think about Altrincham is the simplicity of its revival, which was to look at its history and to look at its pride and to bring that back, and that. Focusing renewal and revival around the market hall, thinking about the public realm, thinking about the contribution that everybody who had a stake in Altrincham could make. So that sort of convening of landowners, of the public sector, private sector businesses, to turn around and not accept that just because something is going backwards, that always has to be in reverse. But there could be, using its history, using its assets, that you could reinvent it. And in this case, you've almost reinvented its past and made it present for the future. And I think that's what the great thing about the Altrincham story is, because it worked for the things that it had around it. It's got the communities of Hale Barnes, Bowden, Timperley, Oldfield, Brow. You could argue a little bit of Sale. These are strong communities that wanted to see their town revived. So that's great. Had its market history, great. It had investment in public realm, great. It had a set of landlords that were prepared to do something. So that clinical responsible exploitation of those assets to give Altrincham its future rather than live in its past, I think is the great story of Altrincham as a place, actually, and its revival that we've seen now. And but it didn't happen overnight. The benefits are there for people to see. It just took a little bit of long-term vision, as I said, across a variety of different leaders of the council and different political members, but a desire to make it happen too as well. And I think that is a fantastic example of how places can revive themselves.